Welcome to my second video in this series of 5 of tips for combat flight sim pilots. In this particular video I want to look at how to and why you should learn to fly facing backwards. So what do I mean by flying backwards? Well, flying backwards is essentially learning how to fly with this view. So the pilot's head is screwed around to the back and you're looking out the back, you're looking above and you're looking out to the side, and you're continuing to fly safely and quickly with the pilot not looking ahead. I've chosen the Hurricane for this particular video because the Hurricane has quite poor rear visibility. We will have a quick look at the rear visibility in the Spitfire and the 109, but for now I'm going to stick with the Hurricane. Now, because I'm playing Cliffs of Dover, I also have the benefit of the fact that these 6 degrees of freedom in Cliffs allows the pilot to lean forward quite some distance and therefore turn like that. And I would say that I'm about maybe 1.5 feet away from the seat, which probably with a strapped-in pilot in real life would not be realistic. I suspect that a real pilot would be able to move about 10 inches perhaps, and the view really craned around would be probably more like that out to the right and then like that out to the left. I am using TrackIR, by the way. For those players who use the key bindings, you're probably going to end up with views more similar to that. But because this is Cliffs of Dover, my pilot is not strapped in, I can lean forward like this, and then turn my head, and then lean to the left, and I get that view, and then I can lean to the right whilst facing that way, and I get that view. So let's have a look at actually flying this aeroplane with the pilot facing backwards. What I recommend you do to practice this is to get your aircraft down low to about a couple of 100 feet above the trees. Trim it out. Just trimming now, so I'm going to try and trim for something close to level flight. And then turn backwards. And just use the trim to try and maintain level flight to begin with. Use your head to look around. Just see how long you can maintain this for. Now, it looks like I'm sinking, so I'm just going to look forward. And my nose is just below the riser, so I'm going to trim up once and then I'm going to go back to this. So the first level of this exercise is just to fly around looking at the sky behind you. Okay, correct, drop the nose a fraction. Once you get comfortable doing this, now try some turns. So we make a left turn and then we can look over there and we can look over there. And now I can clear the sky behind me. I'm pulling back on the stick. Now I can actually clear that area of sky that's over there. Look forward, roll to the right, check the sky behind me, and fly along like this. And only look forward when you need to check what's happening. I think I'm descending. Yep, I'm descending. So arrest the descent, trim back, and start looking behind again. The idea is to try and fly around looking behind you as much as possible. Very short periods of time looking ahead, and look at the stuff that's near you down here, and that'll give you your feeling if you're sinking or climbing, diving or climbing. So I think I was diving a little bit there. Now I should be nose up, and you can also use the wingtip there. If that's level with the horizon, you're probably okay, depending on airspeed. And flying looking behind. Let's try some turns. So this is similar to the braking turn that we looked at in my last video. This is more of a sort of a medium rate turn. Pull it into a max rate turn, or close to a max rate turn now. Get the attitude set, lock the elbow in, and look behind. I'm just going to maintain this backward look. And now I'm going to roll in the other direction. I'm going to look around the whole time. Got my attitude, now I'm pulling back on the stick. Now I think I'm descending, my tail appears to be high in the sky. So I'm just going to arrest it, pull back. I was sinking very fast then. And I'm flying now looking backwards. The reason I do this at low level is because if I make too much of a too much of a mistake at low level, sinking, then I will crash into the ground. If you do this at high level, you don't have that indication that you're doing a poor job, and you will dive a lot. Okay, let's have a look now quickly at the Spitfire and the 109. Okay, so here I am getting airborne in a Spitfire, and typically once I've got Spitfire airborne and I'm comfortable that it's still going to fly, quite close to those trees there, I normally do this once I've taken off. So I'm looking back behind me, I'm checking the sky up there, and I look often looking for my wingmen as well, who are also getting airborne. This is one of the first instances. Soon after I get airborne, I'm often already flying looking backwards. But you can see with the Spitfire, the rearward visibility is significantly better than the Hurricane. This whole section of aircraft here has this nice transparent paneling where the cockpit perspex goes back, or the plexiglass, and it's just a much better aircraft for checking your six. So if you are learning, it may be better to try using the Spitfire for this activity. There we go, we'll do a bit of an aileron roll, and you can fly around a lot in the Spit looking backwards like this. Let's see how close we can get to the ground. Okay, that's starting to feel uncomfortable. Not too bad. So, that's the Spitfire. Flying around looking backwards in the Spitfire is a lot easier. Let's have a look now at the 109. So here we are in the 109, and this is an E4, but they're all basically the same looking back. As you can see, it's somewhere between the Hurricane and the Spitfire. Not quite as good as the Spitfire in terms of rearward visibility, although the visibility up there is very good. That section of metal plating there just obscures probably about 20% more of the view, or 10 to 20% more of the view than you would in the Spitfire, but it's a little bit better than the Hurricane. Now, one thing you can do, obviously, in the 109 without a speed penalty is open the... Have I opened the right switch there? No, I haven't. You can open the side window, which enables you to hear stuff behind you, but it doesn't enable you to see any better. The only thing that's a little bit better with the 109 is that the wing area is much lower than the Spitfire. So for looking sort of down behind the wings, but it's really not relevant for this video. I would say that the 109 is between the Spitfire and the Hurricane. Now what you can do in the 109, obviously, and the Hurricane's quite good for this too, not so much the Spit, is that because it's got such a good roll rate, you can very quickly check your blind spot. There I'm rolling very fast, and it's very easy to check what's behind me and below me in that blind spot. In the Spitfire it's quite hard because the Spitfire rolls so slow, and in the Hurricane it's in the middle. So the different aircraft have slightly different characteristics with respect to rearward visibility, but the principle remains the same. No matter which variant you choose to fly, I would spend a significant amount of time practicing flying with this rear view, keeping an eye out at everything that's behind you. I would say that about 50% of the time I get shot down, it's from someone that's behind me that I haven't seen, and I would say that a good proportion of my kills are when I have crept up behind someone and they haven't seen me, simply because they haven't been doing this and they haven't been rolling to check your six. So that is tip number 2, and it is to learn to fly facing backwards. I hope that was helpful, as with usual for me. I hope to see you online soon. Good luck and happy hunting.